Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through a few things to prune your apple tree. It's not like a how-to video, but I'm just going to be going through a few things that I think are important and just showing you some of our trees like this nice James Grieve here. So yeah, let's get straight into the video. So here we have two branches. They're crossing almost, so we need to get rid of one of them, and you know it looks very messy at the moment, so I'll bring you in closer so we can show you which one of these we're going to cut off. So we've decided to cut this one off as the other one is going more outwards compared to this one only going sideways. So we're just going to cut it off quite far away from the main branch, and then we will do a closer cut. We did it further away just in case it ripped, so it wouldn't rip that. If you have any loppers for bigger branches as well, that would be helpful. If you have any branches that have been damaged from fruit last year, like this one, fruit's weighed it down and bent it over, you will want to cut that off like that. So basically an easy way to tackle your tree is cut off any inwards facing branches, crossing branches or anything like that. Just give it a nice structure. You will also want to leave some of these short stubby buds like that, as they will carry your fruit. They are called fruit spurs. So halfway update, we've cleared quite a few of these bottom branches out, sort of letting lots of air and light up into it, so there's less chance of it getting fungal infections or disease. It also, just makes it look nicer, and so then branches won't be rubbing on each other, and that's another way it could get infected, and then it could get things like canker, etc. So we've just got the very tall branch at the top to cut. This is on an M26 rootstock, but with it being a James Grieve, what I've read is James Grieve tends to grow more upright and then outwards. As this is only about 5 years old, it's got lots of energy to put into its taller branches. So I just said that young James Grieve trees seem to have a tall, upright structure. Rootstocks normally determine the size, vigour and shape of your tree. However, some varieties have certain characteristics that can show which the rootstocks can't control. But yeah, this is on an M26 rootstock, and in the sooner years we can see it going more outwards and looking more bushy on its sides, making it look more squat. Now it's quite upright. So we'll do some more and I'll bring you back. So now the James Grieve is done. There is that little twig up there that needs cutting off. That's really bugging me. We missed that, but we'll get that soon. So yeah, if you do any hard cuts or any cuts, make sure, like if I can get under here, make sure like this one here, you do it so it isn't sitting just flat. As you can see, that's got a slope on it, so then any water can run off, because we did some old cuts here before, and this was 3 years ago, and it's still curling over and healing. Same with this one. So you need to make sure it has a nice slant. This one 2 slants, as it was hard just to cut off like that, so we did 2 slants. But yeah, make sure you have it at a slant, because then water can't sit on it and rot it whilst it's trying to heal up. If you're wondering what this is, normally you'd cut this off, but this is just like our silly little counter from when we planted it. So this was the main one. That's so 1, 2, 3, 4, and the buds are the 5th year. So this is the 5th year since we've planted this tree. So we just use that to counter it. As you can see, we can tell from each cut. So now it's nice and open. lots of air and light getting into it. So we should have some nice fruit off this tree this year. Cut some big branches off. It's like here, we've cut that off there, so it encourages it to go outwards, because this one here was starting to go up and rub against these ones, so we've just cut it off, and this one should grow nicely. Because if we cut it off down here, the tree wouldn't be as balanced. It may get cut off in the future, but you've got to keep the tree balanced. It really is probably my favourite apple tree that we have. You know, nice good structure, and is just a very nice tree to have. It's on the corner of the allotment, so at the top of the tree we have kept it quite close to the last year's growth. You know, kept it quite tightly pruned to, you know, just reduce some of that height as well. I'm going to put a clip up of me pruning the Braeburn that we grafted onto. This was done quite a while ago, but I just recorded it, so when I do this video I could include it. So yeah, I'll show you that one, and then we'll get onto some other trees in the orchard. I'll just go through them, sort of thing. I'm not going to show you me just pruning a bunch of trees, as that would be, you know, very boring, but I'd just like to go through a few of the trees that we have. So this is a Braeburn tree we got from Aldi 3-4 years ago, and yeah, we don't know the rootstock, because then Aldi didn't, you know, tell you the rootstock name, but I think it's an M9 rootstock, judging on the tree. Prune it is like a bush type sort of tree. So I'm just going to prune this one, just how we've done the others. I'm going to cut out most of the middle branches on this to sort of open it up a bit more. I'm going to graft on this one, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to prune it, and then in another video I'll just graft straight onto where I've cut it, where I've pruned it. So yeah, let's get on with pruning this one. So it has a lot of brambles growing around it and on it, sort of thing, so these have obviously got to go. I'm just going to sort of cut them back and drag them out. So now I've got rid of a few brambles. You know, I've just made it so I can actually get to the tree. I'm going to start cutting out some of these little fruit spurs that have finished as fruit spurs and sort of grown into branches. So as you can see, that used to be a fruit spur where fruit would have sat, and then it's grown a branch on it. So I'm just going to cut some of these middle ones out. These, make sure these are clean so they don't infect it. I don't want to cut all these fruit spurs off, but just cut ones off that I can see that have got branches forming. So some of these small little branches, cut them off, and yeah, it's just going to be pretty much what I've done with the other ones. I'm just going to cut it back a little bit. So yeah, I think I'll do like a little time lapse of it. Right then, so I've cut this one quite hard. I've cut a couple of the big branches off. As you can see, one there as well. That's just because they was facing in too much and there was no buds that was going outwards. So this little tree here is a sops in wine on an M9 rootstock. I don't know if you can see there. It hasn't done that well. It needs mulching with the grass clearing away this year. So to prune this one, all we've done is just nip the ends off these to hopefully encourage it to grow a bit more. Probably when these thicken up to about pencil size, we'll cut them to a nice frame and then it should shoot back quite well. So these trees here are the ones we've planted not so long ago. That one, and this one. Sorry if the video quality isn't the best at the moment. It's dropping quite dark. So yeah, this one is an Idarad on a MM106 rootstock. Same thing here, the grass has grown quite close to it, so it hasn't done the best. So yeah, that one definitely needs a good mulch this year. It had quite a good mulch this year, but it doesn't seem to have worked that effectively. What we need to do, I think, is just put some cardboard round and then put some grass clippings on top. That should also hold in the moisture. I think the problem with all our trees this year, well, last year, I keep saying this year, last year, is because last year we had quite a dry season. So as you can see, it split some of this open. I don't know if it'll focus, but yeah, it split it open and it hasn't grown as well. But hopefully this year we'll keep on top of watering to keep it growing quite nicely. So yeah, that's this tree. Now this tree is, we believe, like some French Golden Delicious or something. It's grown quite upright. So this one, we just cut the tops off quite close, and this one has quite a few fruit spurs. So yeah, this is quite a nice little tree. Now this Cox's Orange Pippin is doing quite well. In the past, branches have fell down. This one, I remember, was almost on the floor not last year, the year before. Same with this one, starting to come back. And last year, when we were clearing the orchard, the tractor caught it and ripped it open. So yeah, that isn't the best thing, but it's starting to come now with some nice flower buds and everything. So we should see some nice fruit off this. Quite a nice little tree. These trees are about 5 years old. They don't look it, but we used to have loads of bracken ferns around them. But now this year they should do a lot better as the orchard is now clear. So thank you for taking your time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, remember to click subscribe with notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to watch more of my videos, click up here to watch how to plant an apple tree, and click here to watch my latest video. And also click this little box down here so you can subscribe to my channel. So apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye, everybody.